Good morning, Dr. Lewis Singer, Singer Family Chiropractic here in Boynton Beach, Florida, where families go to be well. It's Monday morning, and so that means it's time for another question for Doc. Thank you for tuning in. So, not so much a question, but a comment sometimes that I get when going over x-rays with patients, especially patients in their senior years, in their 60s, 70s, 80s, even their 90s. They say, Doc, they see what's going on the x-rays. They see the scoliosis, they see the degeneration, they see the damage, and they say, I don't think you're going to be able to fix that. And I have to tell you that the spine is something that really should be maintained really from birth. Subluxations are caused by three different types of stresses: physical stress, chemical stress, emotional stress, okay? The number one physical stress is just the birth process itself. Even a natural birth can put a lot of torquing and a lot of tension on the neck and cause the spine to go out of alignment. So really, the spine should be maintained really from birth, just like a lot of things in our life should be maintained, like our teeth and our cardiovascular system and that type of thing. But there does get to a point where a lot of times we can't reverse years and years and years of damage. So with a lot of my seniors, I end up agreeing with them. I say, you know what, we're probably not going to be able to get this that much better, but we're going to keep you from getting worse. Sometimes the best we can do is just to make sure that that patient is able to have the quality of life, have the health that they have at this point, and keep them from getting worse. I'll have a lot of seniors just say to me, Doc, I want to be able to continue to play golf. I want to be able to meet my friends for lunch. I don't want to have to be dependent on anyone. I want to be able to drive. If you can keep me doing those things, then I'm very happy. And that's really where the bar is set. So again, a lot of times we have what chiropractors call a limitation of matter. In the Bible, there's an expression, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So the spirit inside of us always does want to heal us. It's always going to try to make us better, but it's dealing with this. It's dealing with the material. It's dealing with flesh and bones, dealing with cells. And again, that's the problem, that sometimes there's only so much we can do. Now, that being said, we usually can do more than what the patient thinks. I mean, the body is very, very forgiving. Listen, you can eat popcorn and M&Ms all day long, and your body's going to take that junk food and it's going to make it tissue cells and blood cells and tissues and organs and all that type of stuff. So the body is really, really forgiving. Someone could smoke for years and years and years and not have a problem. Someone can eat all this crazy food for years and not have a problem. So the body it's pretty amazing, with what we do to it and the way that we abuse it in so many different ways, and it still is going to function as best as it can. So that being said, there's usually a lot more that we can do than people realize. And the last thing I will also say is that a lot of times patients will come in with one condition, maybe it's back pain, maybe it's neck pain, the thing that brought them in. But because their body's working so much better under chiropractic care, there may be only so much we can do for that, quote, condition, but they start to see things like, Doc, I'm more relaxed, I'm more calm, I'm sleeping better, my digestion's better, I'm not having to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom as much. So the effects of chiropractic kind of bleed into all the other areas of the body, things that you may not even have thought about when you first came in to see the chiropractor. They get better because when your body's working better, everything's better. You're spiritually better, you're emotionally better, you're mentally better, and you're physically better. And a lot of times in other areas that you didn't even expect. And that's the joy that I have of chiropractic, that somebody comes in for one thing and all these other things get better, even with what we call the limitations of matter. So regardless of your age, regardless of your condition, most of the time there's a lot that we can do here for chiropractic care. So if you're thinking about chiropractic care and you want to get your spine checked, or if you have friends or family members who have given up, tell them it's not time to give up yet, not until they've had a specific scientific exam and x-rays done by a chiropractor that can let them know really, hey, we may have some hope for you in the future. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a question for us, you could see us in the office if you're a member of our practice, or of course you can always email us at chirosong@aol.com. Welcome to December. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another edition of Question for Doc. Have a great week ahead. God bless.